Welcome to this free immigration help channel. Today is May 1st, 2023, and we're getting into the volume 79 of me answering your immigration related questions. As always, before we begin, I'm going to mention I am not an immigration attorney. This is not a legal advice. All the information that I provide in these videos on this channel are directly from official government sources like USCIS and of course the Department of State with their visa bulletin. Right now we are in May 2023. So let's start with the very first comment from Greep Vlogger. Greep, thank you for another question, appreciate it. Salam once again, sir. Walaikum assalam. I applied for a tourist visa to visit my wife in the US. I got an interview date 6 December and at the same time my I-130 is pending. I just want to ask that it will affect my I-130 case. I was reading and I read some comments that make me worry about it. Thanks. Greep, excellent question. Thank you for asking. So whenever it comes to getting the non-immigrant visa while you have the I-130 petition, a lot of times consuls in the US Embassy, those that do the interviews, a lot of times they use it as an opportunity to refuse the visa, unfortunately, the non-immigrant visa. Why? Because they look at it as, okay, you have an immigration petition going, right? So you definitely have the plans to immigrate. When you're applying for a non-immigrant visa, it's complete opposite. You don't have the intentions to immigrate. You're visiting, you are, whether it's tourism or for pleasure or a student, any other reason but to actually come to the United States and live in the United States. I don't want to scare you though, however, because I have seen a lot of cases, once again, that were able to successfully go and get a non-immigrant visa. In fact, I always recommend for everyone who's watching this video, if you do have I-130 petition pending, like myself, for example, I have a petition for my brother. And if we just wait for that I-130 petition to eventually, the immigrant visa to become available for my brother, it will be another, I think it's like 15, 16 years. I don't even want to think about it. It's really that long. So in the meanwhile, I will keep sending the invitation to my brother to come here on a non-immigrant visa so that he can come here, visit, me, my family here, check out the United States of America. And I recommend doing it for anyone who is able, to go and pay for that additional appointment at the U.S. Embassy and potentially get the non-immigrant visa so that they can travel. They won't be able to live here with that non-immigrant visa just because there is an immigrant petition that is pending, but at least they will be able to come and visit. But again, Grip, if your non-immigrant visa is denied, don't be too upset because unfortunately, a lot of times they use it as an opportunity to refuse the non-immigrant visa because there is an immigrant petition that is in place that is pending. So I really wish you good luck, Grip, and if you can, once you go through the interview, please let us know. If you can come back and let us know in the comments if you were able to successfully get it, because it will be reassuring to me and to a lot of other people who are watching these videos. All right, let's move on to the next one from Dennis. Dennis to 4. Thank you, Dennis, for another question. Appreciate it. Hi, sir. If I am in F1 and waiting to pay the fees, does that mean I'm documentary qualified and my priority date is March 2017? Approximately what's the estimate time in getting the welcoming letter from NVC? Okay, Dennis, so whenever it comes to becoming documentarily qualified, that is the process that is with NVC. So if you have not gotten the welcome letter from NVC, if you don't have the access to the portal yet, then you are not documentarily qualified. But your comment is actually perfect timing because literally just about an hour and a half ago, I had the opportunity to make a video and I will post it. I don't know if I will be able to post it before this video or after this video, probably after, because I have to actually do some editing there because there are a few things that I need to blur out, some personal information. But I was able to get an access to a documentarily qualified NVC portal by someone who allowed me to do that with their personal information. It was like 2 years ago, they already got their immigrant visa, they already got their green cards, all right? They're already permanent residents, so they don't really care. So they allowed me to get the access so that I can show everyone who's subscribed to this channel how it looks, inside of the NVC portal. What does the documentarily qualification, entails. So Dennis, stick around, this video will be posted soon. For now, I will put this and we will move further. Looks like again from Dennis, hi sir, does it mean if I'm waiting to pay the fees? Okay, so that's the same thing. I'm gonna do the same thing so you're aware that I have responded. And we're gonna move on to the next one from David Francis. Good night, I'm living in Jamaica, my daughter a US citizen, file I-130. It was approved by USCIS. My priority date is August 14th, 2021. FF, and I became documentarily qualified. Congratulations, October 1st, 2022. When do you think I will get my interview letter? Okay, so congratulations on becoming documentarily qualified. Again, in this video, actually, the one that I'm talking about documentarily, becoming documentarily qualified, I show the actual dates and how long it takes. So in that case, because it was also in IR5, parent of a US citizen, which is the same thing as what you have, an immediate relative. So on a huge plus, you don't have to deal with availability of the immigrant visa. For your category, there is no backlog. Once you're documentarily qualified, the immigrant visa is already available. So literally for you right now, it's just a matter of, it's already at the embassy. All right, so it's literally right now for the embassy to just schedule the appointment. And usually it's about 3 to 4 months. They schedule that appointment with 30 days in advance, so that you have enough time to go through the medical examination. One recommendation I'm gonna give you is that once your interview is scheduled, don't wait closer to the interview date to do the medical examination. Do the medical examination as soon as possible, so that all the documents the doctor needs to send to the embassy, by the time your interview comes, they already have it once you go for an interview. And another thing, probably most likely they will request tax transcripts. I know whenever it comes to becoming, documentarily qualified, you don't need to provide tax transcripts. You only provide the tax returns for the petitioner. But for the interviews, as of recently, they started requesting specifically the tax transcripts. So make sure to have that available if your daughter can, get those from IRS and then forward them to you, again, few years back, so that you have them for your interview date. But your interview should be scheduled anywhere around the corner now. Let us know when you do. That would be nice, reassuring for everybody else, to hear someone, because it's one thing when, everybody's watching all these questions, somebody finds my answers helpful. It's a blessing for me. But it is also very nice to see comments where people say, I finally became documentarily qualified. My interview was finally scheduled. I was able to finally and go get the immigrant visa. This is really reassuring. It shows that things are moving along. And it's just really a matter of some patience. All right, let's move on to the next one from Trudy Bubs. Trudy, thank you very much for another question. Hello, sir. Thank you for answering my question. Anytime. You have been very helpful. I'm glad. I do have a few other questions. All right. F1 category, documentary qualified June 2021. I have submitted my mother as the affidavit. Affidavit of support, but my mother is no longer working. My sister will be my new affidavit. So my question is, upon interview, should I carry those documents of my mother taxes and affidavit along with my new affidavit, which is my sister? Because it said I must carry all original documents that is uploaded. But since my mother will be no longer, I want to know if I should carry those documents as well. Okay, Trudy, so I think I have a follow-up question for you. So since that was already documentarily qualified, right? Before the case was documentarily qualified by the NVC, was your sister added as a joint sponsor to to your mother, as I'm assuming your mother is the main petitioner, or if, because she obviously she's the main sponsor, right? Because petitioner has to be the sponsor. And then if the petitioner does not have enough income to show to be the sponsor, then you add the joint sponsor. So have you added your sister as a joint sponsor before the case was documentarily qualified? Because if you didn't, and it was documentarily qualified with the information that was provided, then this is really the only information that you need to provide on the interview. Because they go by the previous tax returns. They don't go by what it is right now. Really, right now, there's really nothing that you will be showing as of right now, because you can't show the tax returns, for example, for 2023. That is, if your mom, for example, retired in 2023, because you were showing the documents most likely for, well, if it was documentarily qualified in 2021, then most likely you showed the documents for 2020 and 2019. So after becoming documentarily qualified, they're not going to request the information for what it is right now. But it's a good idea to, just in case, have those documents for your sister as well somewhere in a separate folder, just in case if something like that comes up, because it's been a while since you were documentarily qualified. It's been 2 years, almost 2 years. Yep, almost 2 years. Sorry, my math is absolutely horrible. Almost 2 years. So you never know what they might come up with, but typically, once you're already documentarily qualified, there is nothing new that is being requested. So when you go for an interview, they don't ask for, okay, well, this was for 2021. We need now for 2022 and 2023. They ask the same documents that have to do with becoming documentarily qualified. But nevertheless, it is a good idea, it is a really good idea to have the most recent stuff in a separate folder and an additional stuff for your sister, just in case if, I don't know, something comes up, because you really cannot be too careful with those people. Probably everyone here who's asking questions, immigrants dealing with the stuff, they have their own kind of a story that, everything was good and then it wasn't. I have a story like that, many stories like this, with literally every single stage of the immigration process. I have seen personally a lot of stories like that where they ask stuff out of the blue that you would never think they ask. So it's only good to be extra prepared and have a separate stuff. It doesn't mean that you will have to go and say, oh yeah, but we want to add a joint sponsor. Don't say stuff like this, but if they do, if that comes up, then you do have those documents available with you. Alrighty, let me pause this and we're going to move on to the next one. From Atani Ellis, I am IR5 category. IR5, that is immediate relative, and the 5 is for parent of a US citizen. I was documentarily qualified January 6, 2023. Congratulations. How long will I wait to get an interview? Thanks in advance. Oteni, you're very welcome. Thank you for a question. So once you're documentarily qualified, because you're in the immediate relative category, that's it. The immigrant visa is already available for you. The only thing that you're waiting for is just the embassy to schedule that interview. So at the end of the day, it really comes down to how busy that embassy is, what their schedule looks like, and depending on where it is. For example, in some countries, in some cities, U.S. embassies, they are more busy than the other ones. Some have more non-immigrant appointments. Some have more services for U.S. citizens. It really depends. But typically it is really a few months. So if you're documentarily qualified January 2023, right now we are already in May 2023. So literally it should be somewhere around the corner. And like I was answering earlier to, I think David Francis had that. Yes, David Francis. Basically, you will, once you get scheduled the interview, it will be scheduled 30 days in advance, so that you have time to become, go through that medical examination with the civil surgeon. And again, recommendation is do it as soon as possible. Don't wait closer to the interview date. All right, let's move on to the next one from Norfas. Good day, thanks for your video. You're very welcome. Thank you for watching. I have gotten my welcome letter 2021 March, and my priority date is March 2018, but I can't sign in to the portal, but it's not allowed to pay my fees. Don't understand why. Okay, so Norfos, if you can come back to this video, it doesn't really matter, whichever video, and provide additional information, I might be able to give you some rough estimates. Most likely, not most likely, I'm 99% sure this is the reason why you cannot do anything with the portal, pay the fee, submit the documents, is because the immigrant visa is not yet, you're not there yet. There's still time for the availability of the immigrant visa. But if you give me your category, your chargeability area, and you already gave me a priority date, March 2018, but put the priority date in the comment as well, because I forget, obviously, I get so many questions, I will forget. And I will be able to go to the visa bulletin and check the priority dates, check the category, chargeability area, and give you rough estimates of how long you need to wait before you can expect full access to the NVC portal. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. It's just really 99% sure, like I said, is that you'll just have some time before the availability of the immigrant visa. But yes, let me know the preference, the category, chargeability area, and the priority date once again, because I will forget your March 2018. Just make sure don't respond to my comment within your comment, and that goes for everyone who's watching this video. Please don't respond to my comment within your comment, because YouTube does not send me notification for those. Just submit a separate comment on any of the videos and your comment will come up here on this wall. All right, let's move on to the next one. From Tashani Harrison. Hi, I'm in the F2B, all chargeability area, and my priority date is October 2015. Do you think I will get through by September this year? Thank you. You're very welcome, Tashani. Let's take a look at the visa bulletin. So we got priority date F2B, we got January 2017, and okay, so you have your priority date way earlier. So I'm assuming that your case has already been approved by USCIS and it is already with NVC. Please correct me if I'm wrong, Tashani, but looking at the visa bulletin, F2B, all chargeability area, F2B, all chargeability area, your priority date is October 2015. And this one right here is January 2017. So your case should be already with the NVC. Let's take a look at the graph A now, final action date. This is the graph that shows the cases that are being documentarily qualified. That's what the final action refers to. Final action on the case means it was documentarily qualified. And looks like for F2B, it's showing September 2015 and you're October 2015. So let's see, September 2015, October 2015, October 2015. Okay, so you literally around the corner to become documentarily qualified. So I'm assuming you already, and correct me if I'm wrong, if you can submit a separate comment, I would really appreciate it. I am pretty sure you should already be documentarily qualified either by now or within the next month or 2 months max. You should be documentarily qualified, because that's pretty much, we are pretty much what it is showing right now, September, unless this is not updated, but we will see in the next few months, we will see it clearer. But by September this year, I'm pretty sure by the end of this year, you definitely gonna have the immigrant visa and everything should be completed. Documentarily qualified, the interview, the immigrant visa, and that's really it. Because once you're documentarily qualified, your immigrant visa should already be available. The interview is scheduled, few months. If you're documentarily qualified, let's say next month, in the next 2 months, that is what, June, July, then the interview scheduled, maybe 3-4 months, probably around September. So yeah, I'm thinking definitely it's September this year. You should definitely have some movement. But again, if you can, let me know if you are already documentarily qualified, or whether you already submitted everything and you're just waiting for the response from the NVC, whether they accept everything or not. And that would be helpful to kind of see at which stage of the process you are. And also, like I mentioned in the beginning of this video, I will be publishing I have already recorded this video, but I do need to make some edits specifically about becoming documentarily qualified, about the NVC portal, how it looks, how much are the fees, what kind of applications, visa application, affidavit of support, joint sponsor, because there is a joint sponsor involved in the example that I'm showing. So make sure to check that video out. I'll probably post it either today or tomorrow, the latest. All right, let's move on to the next question from Halim Mubashir. Do I need an EAD work permit if I want to work remotely for a US company from Pakistan? Oh, excellent question, Halim. So I think it really depends on the structure of the company that is hiring the employees, because a lot of times that's how it looks like with the remote work, right? With outsourcing. We have a US company, right? And we have not an individual employee overseas. We have something like a staffing company that is overseas, and it is the staffing companies that has all of the required documentation to do business with the US company, and then they hire underneath them their employees that do service for the company here in the United States. In that case, of course, you don't need the employment authorization document because you're not directly dealing with the US company. There is no direct employment contract between the US company and the remote employee, because they go through that kind of like almost like a third party, but that's going to be their employer, that's going to be their boss in their home country. Something along those lines. But if you are performing work directly with the US company, if you have that employment contract, in that case, yes. Obviously, the US company, they would have to do a lot of stuff on their end with the Department of Labor, with USCIS, showing that this is their overseas employees, so far so forth. And in that case, yes, most likely you will need that employment authorization document because by the employment contract, you are working for a US company, and obviously the income comes from the US company, so there are some tax situations involved, there's the social security that is involved. So again, it really depends on the situation, it really depends on how that employment looks. Do you have a direct relationship with US company, or is it done through a company that is in your case in Pakistan? So if you want, you can let me know some additional details, and I might be able to provide some recommendations along those lines, or you can just work with with the employer directly and see if they do require from you stuff like employment authorization document. All right, let's move on to the next one from Mai Saicho. Hi, I'm bringing artists over, and I started on my I-192P2, and it was returned. Oh, sorry about that. Sorry you're dealing with this. I need to attach form 26, 28, and 35, 36. I'm having difficulties filling out 35 and 36. For page 35 and 36, it says when one person is included in the petition. Is that information for myself as the employer, sponsor, or is that asking for the artist? Mai, thank you very much for your question. Let's take a look. I'm going to use this opportunity to show for everyone who's watching this video some navigation on the official USCIS website. So here it is. This is the homepage. This is the official government website. We're going to go to forms right here at the very top of the navigation menu, all forms, and that was for I-129. So you can scroll down and find it because it's in a numerical alphabetic order, or you can just type in the phone number, not the phone number, form number 129, and there we go, petition for non-immigrant worker. So we're going to go to the form. I'm going to open it up and we're going to scroll down. This is the application itself. We're going to scroll down to the page 35. And yeah, this is a massive form. I know. I kind of really wish that eventually USCIS, I think it would be really nice that eventually USCIS makes this application into an online application, and depending on which category, because there's a lot of categories involved in this petition. There is H visas, L visa, OP. In this case, we're dealing with P, Q, R. So whichever one you're filing for, Just that part comes up and you fill out that part and that's it. And you don't have to go through everything in this application. It's ridiculous. But yes, that's what you have to deal with, unfortunately. So let's take a look. We are on page 35, attachment 1, attached to form I-129 when more than one person is included in this application. List each person separately. So this is family name, date of birth, blah, 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 social security, all other names, addresses where you intend to live, foreign address, if in the United States. Okay, so this is attached to the form I-129 when more than one person is included in this petition. So this is exactly the same thing. So 35 and 36 is exactly the same thing. So let me ask you, Mai, are you petitioning for one person, for one artist? The artist that you're referring to, is that one person or is it a group? Because if it is a group, then this is what it is referring to. You're putting an additional person basically on the application if you're filing for the group. But if you're petitioning just for one person, then that's really it. You don't really need this right here, because this is not for the petitioner. This is just for the beneficiary, for the one who's receiving the non-immigrant work visa. In your case, it's a P visa for artists. So let me know if you can, and I might be able to give you more information. But if this is for just one person, you know, if you're just petitioning for one foreign employee, temporary worker, then you really don't need to deal with these pages. So I'm assuming you might have a group of people that you're petitioning for. That's why they're asking these additional pages. But if you don't, then most likely there was some confusion along the way on the application. And for some reason, USCIS, they decided that there is more than one person. And there is something that you need to find in your application that confused them. And you need to address that and fix that. So let me know in a separate comment if you can, and we will look deeper into that, and I'll see if I can help you a little bit better with that. Oh, there you go. So you just submitted the additional. I have a group of artists, contains 2 individuals. Okay, sorry about that. Should have scrolled down a little further. I petitioned 2 separate I-129P category for each individual. Okay, I see. It state lists each person separately. Do not include the person you name on for I-129. Yes. So you don't need to submit 2 separate I-129 forms because it is a group and it goes as a group of artists. You don't need to have a separate I-129 for each one of them. You only need one I-29, and then as you can have either one of the people as, you know, the main kind of a beneficiary, as the main part of the group. That's why a lot of times you will see that when the group goes for that interview at the embassy for the non-immigrant visa, you will see that they have like a group leader who has all the documents, who does all the talking, and then the rest of the group, they're basically just sitting and waiting. It's kind of similar situation in your case, but it's just going to be 2 people instead of, you know, a whole group of people. So that's what it is referring to. One I-129 for the whole group, and then for additional person, you will be filling out that information. So sorry for the lengthy confusing and asking for you for stuff, because you already provided me the information. All right, let's move on to the next one from Tohakim29. Sir, what about if people are not receiving their receipt notice already 2-3 months? I-589, I mean. Okay, so I-589 is the application for asylum, and 2-3 months, Tohakim, is a little bit long time not to receive that notice of receipt. Let me ask you a question, Tohakim. Have you filed this application by online, or have you filed it by mail? Because if you have filed by mail, check the tracking number, check when they received it. If it has been, you know, more than, I would say, because you got to keep in mind, when you file this application by mail, right, you're sending the physical documents. It takes, you know, roughly, you know, a week to get there. Then it sits in the PO box until it is taken from the PO box, placed on the office desk of the immigration officer, and then once they review it, Once they accept it, and then they send it the NOR, and then it takes time to get to you. So there is some time involved with the physical mail. It might be the case that that's why you're still waiting. But if you have filed this application online, then 2-3 months is definitely a little bit of a long time, and I would recommend reaching out to USCIS. You can find their contact information on USCIS official website. If you scroll down all the way, and this link is in the description below, scroll down all the way, you will find contact USCIS. You will find their phone number, 1-800 phone number. Call them up and say, hey, give them your information and see what's going on. But yes, it's definitely taking a little bit too long for online. For physical mail, possible 2-3 months. Might be okay, but still reach out and see what's going on. All right, let's move on to Nauman Ahmed. Hi, I came across your video, how to read Visa Bulletin Family Sponsorship. Mighty useful. Nauman, thank you for your kind words. I'm glad this is useful. Just wanted to confirm my suspicions here. My sister filed for my I-130 back in November 2011, so I fall under the F4 category. And currently, February 2008, applications are being processed. Going back to 2022 May bulletin shows that October 07 applicants were being processed. So in a year, they are processing a year worth of applications. Yes. So by that rough estimate, November 2011 should be processed in about 3 years. Is that correct? Yes, absolutely, Norman, 100%. Rough estimate because, things might go crazy, like with the pandemic. Everything was stopped. Or they might come up with some kind of streamlined process, which everyone is hoping for, and things might speed up. But rough estimates, 3 years, yes, you're 100% correct. Also, I was in Pakistan in 2011, but in 2018, I've moved to Canada, and I have had kids. So is there a way for me to update the records with USCIS? Yes, sir. So congratulations with kids. It's a blessing. Definitely reach out to the USCIS because your petition still has to be with USCIS. And basically, it's... First, reach out by phone. It's always good to reach out by phone, talk to a representative, explain the situation, and then get the instructions. The instructions will be very straightforward. Basically, what they're going to want is a cover letter, just a typed up statement saying, hey, my name is this and this, date of birth, I have a case, this and this, here's the case number, I am the petitioner or I'm the beneficiary. I wanted to provide an updated information on my case. I have had children, and then attach supporting documents showing that it is a fact that you do have now children. Obviously, just their birth certificates will be just fine, and then USCIS will be able to update that record. So, Nauman, thank you very much for your question. Let's address one more question for today from your comments, and I also have one email that I need to address. Actually, I won't be able to address the email in this video, so never mind, because I do need to check on a few things for that. So I'll answer 2 comments for this video. So Rekha Shah, my priority date is July 2004. I paid all fees, submitted all documents in October 2022, waiting for visa. When should I get? Okay, so my priority date, we know the priority date. I paid all the fees, submitted all documents in October 22, waiting for visa. When should I get it? Okay, Rekha, if you can, please come back. Any of the videos, it doesn't matter. You can respond to this video and let me know what the category is. Also, the chargeability area would be helpful. And you submitted the documents. When you say you submitted the documents, since it's in October 2022, I'm assuming it has been submitted to the NVC. Since you submitted in October 22, roughly around this time, it should already be reviewed and you should be either documentarily qualified or they request for additional information. Let me know if you're already documentarily qualified or not. That will give me some better information to kind of give you some rough estimates. All right, let's address the very last one from Trudy. Trudy, sorry, I'm just now getting to, I think I already addressed this question. Hello, sir, thank you for answering my question. I do have another question. Yes, I've already answered this one. So, sorry, Trudy, I didn't see it up until now. Let's see if I can address this email. I'm gonna pull up this thing right here. And let's see, let's get this out of the way. Okay, so yes, so this is the email that I got from, and I recommend everyone, if you're watching this video, if you have a question, submit it in the comments, because I will be getting much faster to that rather than the email. Like for example, this email, it actually went to a spam folder, which is not good. I almost missed it. So the email is from Gad Eteu. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing the name. Hello, I have a pending I-129F, which is a petition for fiance, and was wondering if it's okay to recall the application and switch it to I-130 since I recently went ahead and got married to my wife. I had submitted the fiance petition in December. Kindly advise. Gad, thank you very much for your question. Congratulations on your marriage. Yes, absolutely. I would definitely recommend sending basically all you're doing in order to recall the petition. Again, reach out by phone to USCIS and say, hey, I want to recall the petition. They're not going to recall it over the phone. They will tell you to send a letter, but it is still good to call and let them know your intentions and let them give you the instructions on how to do it. But basically, it's very simple. All you're doing is, like I was answering to Nauman, is you're submitting a cover letter saying who you are, saying what you have initially filed, and saying that you want to cancel it, you want to withdraw that application, that petition, telling them the reason why, and then attaching, in your case, marriage certificate. And then file the I-130 online as soon as possible. This is going to be pretty quick, especially if you're a U.S. citizen. Then it's immediate relative. You're not going to be waiting for the availability of immigrant visa. You won't have to deal with anything like that. So the sooner you do it, the better. But yes, absolutely, go ahead and do that. So thank you everyone for watching. Hopefully you found my answers helpful. If you have any follow-up questions, do not hesitate to ask them in the comments below. I'm only happy to address your questions if I can help. Anyhow, with my answers, that's a blessing for me. So thank you very much for your time. God bless, and I'll see you in the next video.